Hi there. Oh, I've been divinely guided to create a live chat for everyone. So on Fridays around 1 p.m. Australia time, I'm going to be recording these beautiful live videos. So if anyone has any questions, you can come on and ask. If there is anyone there at the moment, I'm not seeing anything, but I figure I'll work it out as I go. Um, Okay, just trying to see, is there a spot where all the comments come up, or I'm hoping they'll show up as people come in. At the moment, I've got 0 people on there. I'm looking at the little dot, but anyway, um, I'll keep talking. I thought I'd do a little bit of housekeeping because it's my first live video, and I'm not sure who's going to show up or if anyone will show up and how this all works. So just bear with me. But the idea is that over the weeks, if you have any questions, you can come here live. Hi, Jessie. 9:14. Oh, nice. The other question I was going to ask as people are popping on is let me know where you are in the world, or I guess what time is another good way of letting me know. And what sort of days and times are suitable for everyone. Like if I have your location in the world and I get what sort of time suits you, I'll choose a day and time that where the majority are. So most people can sign up, come in live and ask questions and be here. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to go through, I made a list so I wouldn't forget the things I did want to share while I'm here, because I imagine the first time through there wouldn't be a lot of people asking questions yet or participating because nobody knows that this is happening yet. So the first thing I wanted to make everyone aware of is that every 100 subscribers, a person will be chosen, a subscriber will be chosen. Very important. Okay, you need to be a subscriber. But I would choose a subscriber that is very involved in the channel, commenting, sharing, asking questions. And when we get to the 400 subscribers, we'll be choosing a new person. And what will happen is, in an email, you'll send me which one of these beautiful physical books you would like to have, and we will send it off to you wherever you are in the world. We've only just sent off a beautiful book on our 300 subscribers. So Jessie, we've just sent it off. I can't wait for you to get that beautiful book. And that was You Can Change Your Past. So you get to choose whichever one of these beautiful physical books you want to have, and we will send it off to you. Okay, you don't have to be the 400th subscriber. We will choose between all the subscribers we have and all the people that have put through which book they would like to have. So you do need to email us. I know, I can't wait either. Oh, it's going to be so lovely. And I really want to know, how it makes you feel when you read the book as well. So I'm really excited because I know when I had to edit that book and I read it over and over to make sure, you got to try and pick up all the grammar mistakes and any sort of spelling mistakes, or if things can be written a little bit better for people to understand. That was one of my favorite books to edit, actually, that one. And I'm Light, I Am Dark. The information that came through was just amazing. The second thing I wanted to bring forward today in the live session is that we do have a weekly newsletter. And I'm going to ask everyone to please be super patient because I am new to the weekly newsletter, just like I'm new to these live videos. And I'm hoping as the weeks progress, I will figure it out and it'll become easier to do that. Now, the thing with the weekly newsletter, when you ask to subscribe for that weekly newsletter, we will give you a confirmation email. So you don't just automatically subscribe, because I get a lot of emails that come through every day and they're not all for that. But sometimes the emails on my website say free weekly newsletter. So the first thing we do is we send you a confirmation email to make sure that that is what you were after, and also to ask you to please add hollie@holliebelle.com to your contacts, because otherwise all our emails get lost in spam. So that's the weekly newsletter. I'm trying to work it out. I'm new to it, so be patient. We will get there, because at the moment, for me, the most important thing, the priority at the moment, are all these beautiful videos to get all this information to everybody out there, so everybody knows that this exists and that these beautiful books exist. That was the next thing we were going to talk about. So with these beautiful books, you can go to the website www.holliebelle.com, and it's all over my YouTube channel. Every single video in the description, you'll find the website there. But it gives you a good description of each book, and it gives you a feel of, which book you might resonate with the most. In the early videos, I did all these beautiful videos introducing the books, but I was experimenting a lot with background music. So some of them might have been a bit, yeah, you might not have resonated with it very much. So check out the website and see how, you feel about the books. Now, what's new that's only just been made available in the last few weeks is the coaching sessions and the Reiki sessions, because I've had a lot of people send emails asking if I do any of that. And yes, I can. But I hadn't set any of that up because I was planning to do that next year, early next year. But there's been so many people inquiring that I thought, okay, I'll set that up, and then people can come in when they're ready. It's there if they want it. So what I wanted to bring forward today is there is information on the website about the coaching sessions and about the Reiki sessions. For the first 10 people that I've just had this inspiration this morning. In December, we're going to do a big sale, 25% discount from all the coaching sessions and all the Reiki sessions. So to make it more affordable for people and to try it, to inspire you to give it a go, and see how you go with that. That's our Christmas special. I was already getting into the Christmas mood, but today I was just feeling in such a giving space that I thought I'd pick the next 10 people that want to sign up to do any of that, and you will get 50% off. Just the first 10 people that sign up. We're offering you a 50% off any of the coaching sessions and 50% off any of the Reiki sessions. And what's the difference? I can hear people thinking. Okay, with a Reiki session, what you get is Reiki is energetic healing. Originally, I thought that's what we were doing, healing. But for me, when I go in to do the Reiki sessions, it gives me a reading of your beautiful energy. This is what happens. And so when I go in, and I go in with my beautiful team, we go in to look at your energy. And we go through all the chakras, which you've had this week. Tomorrow, I think, is the last one, the root chakra. I think today was the sacral. So tomorrow's the very last one. It's the root chakra. And so you've got an idea of what the 7 chakras are. That's what I work with my team. And we go in and we have a look at what's happening with your energy. And if there are any blocks at the end of that Reiki session, you get this long report, because I've been told this so long and so detailed. It may not. You may have this beautiful flowing energy and not much may come up. We don't know. We only know when we go in, because we need to have the person's permission. I don't just go around reading people's energies, although I feel like I probably can. But to me, I feel I need that person's permission to be reading their energy. So without that, I just don't give myself permission. I think, no, I'm not going to read that person. Yes, they are beautiful. I've had 2 questions from Malcolm about the chakra videos that I thought I would address here as well. He was asking, how often are we supposed to do these chakra meditations, these chakra videos? Now, thanks to those 2 questions now, we've been inspired. We're going to do 2 videos. One video is going to be with all the chakras, like almost like a Reiki healing, without the Reiki, if you like, and without me sending you energy or anything. You will be reading your own beautiful energy. So there will be a meditation with all 7 chakras. And what you can do is once a week. When I was doing Reiki healing, I was doing it every day. I was going in and I was being with my beautiful chakras every day. But even if you do it just once a week with all 7 chakras, and if you find as you're going through there's a chakra that doesn't feel quite in alignment, that feels like there's something stuck or icky or just doesn't feel right, then you've got the individual meditations. You can go back. So if you're coming through, for example, and you've got all 7 chakras, and as you're going through, you feel like there's something in the 3rd eye, then you can just go back to the third eye chakra meditation and sit with it and ask for that information to come through. So that is the idea of doing the 7 chakras all in one video. That will be coming up soon. At the time, I was really guided to do each individual chakra. And the other question that Malcolm asked was, how do we know if they're in alignment? Usually when you go in, you have a sense, you have a feeling, you know if there's something there that's not quite right, if there feels like there's stagnant energy or stuck energy, or if there's something that doesn't feel quite right. When the chakra feels in alignment, it feels very light. It feels there's nothing. There's a lightness about it, because when we go in to look with the spirit team, it's all energy and it's all flowing beautifully. So that then we know, oh, okay, this chakra is in alignment, it's free, there's nothing here. Usually you will feel something, even physically. Sometimes something will show up in that chakra when you're in there. You'll feel a tightness, or you'll feel an energy that's not quite right. You can sense it straight away. So you'll know when the chakras are in alignment, because your energy will flow. You'll feel lighter. You'll feel that the density that's in your system is starting to leave all these old beliefs, all this old conditioning, that through the beautiful meditations that we're doing, we can release all of that. So I hope that answers the question a little bit. It requires its own video, so I will go through that and ask my team to come in and work me through the information for that particular question. So yeah, that was the chakras. That was an interesting week. And I had the chakras for over a month. I had recorded them, except for the throat one. For some reason, every time I sat down to do the throat one, there was a problem. Either there were too many interruptions from my side, or, the first time I went to edit them, I couldn't find them with the other group. And I thought, what happened? They weren't there. And then, they were gone. So I was like, okay. So I don't know what happened with the throat chakra, that I had to do that one separate and at the end and after all the other videos. But the other chakras had been ready for weeks. And then I got caught up because everyone started asking all these questions about their beautiful spirit guides. And I thought that was more important, that people wanted to know about that and they wanted that information. So I know. And yes, it is. Now, while I've got you there, have you got any questions from the videos? Anything about the chakras or anything that you want to know about while you're waiting for the book? So in the next few days, there's more spirit guide videos coming out, because Malcolm had a whole bunch of questions towards the end, just as I was putting out the chakra videos. So there are a few of those coming out. So Malcolm, if you get to see this video, be patient, because I'm answering questions that were from last week that you had already put through. But because the chakras I felt needed to be all in a row, they needed to be together as a group. That took up a whole week. And then a little bit more, because I felt like the chakras needed explaining more than just throwing it out there and expecting people to understand what they are and how they work. I felt they needed a little bit more explanation, especially if there's going to be an energetic shift in your system and you're going to feel discomfort, and all of a sudden you're going to think, what's this about? So, I have another question here from Malcolm, but he's on Facebook. So anyway, hopefully for next week he'll know. This is all new today. I've just been guided to be here. If people had questions on the spot, it was just easier to address it on the spot. And know that for future videos, if there are a lot of people coming in and a lot of people asking questions, oh, good. Okay. If anything comes up, let me know. So whatever question is asked at that time is the right question for the group, for the collective. sometimes, in past courses I've done, I've lined up to ask a question, and I'm waiting, 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 and then it finishes and I don't get to ask my question because there were so many people in the queue waiting to ask. But I find that whatever question I had, somewhere along the line, it gets answered anyway. It's like spirit knows that this is what you're here for, and so they already provide that information. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else. It was mainly to make people aware of what's available, not just the videos, although I say just, there is so much information that comes through with these beautiful videos. Even yesterday, I was editing one and I was in tears, just I think the information hit me more in listening to it again than when I was given the information the first time. It was just so wonderful. The whole journey is just so wonderful to be here. And while we don't have questions, on Friday I caught up with an old friend, and this will be a video for later, in about a week's time. But beautiful information came up. I was sharing with her how my parents aren't talking to me right now, right? They've cut me off. And she was feeling really bad. She was feeling really, I'm so sorry. She was saying, I'm so sorry. And she was feeling so bad for me, And in her mind and in the conversation, she's trying to work out how to, what we can do. And I said to her, but I did everything I could do. I went over there in September and I was trying so hard to tell them how much I loved them, and that I just wanted them to know that I loved them. That's all I wanted, And every time they'd bring up something they were angry about, I would apologize, and I would try and be this unconditional love for them, that they could be in that angry space, no judgment, And what came through was the most beautiful thing that I thought, well, it's just us today. I'll share it with you as well. The day after I had that conversation with my friend, I had this huge realization. And it reminded me of when I was reminded, because I know it's them always doing the work, spirit always brings in the information when you're ready for it, And I was reminded of when I fell in love the first time, and this person was my whole world, I just loved him so much. But at the time, I felt that I wasn't good enough for his love. I didn't feel that I deserved his love. I was 18 when we fell in love. Sorry, I'm trying to think back now. I was 18. He was 19. So at the time, as much as I loved him and I wanted to have a life with him, my not feeling good enough, my unworthiness of his love was what made me end the relationship, because it hurt too much to love someone that I didn't deserve. Not that he ever said anything or ever did anything to make me feel that way. That was already all in my head. It was the experience I came to have, this feeling not worthy, not good enough, right? And in that moment that I was reminded of how much I loved that person and how hard it was for me to let go of that person, to say goodbye, that I can't do this anymore because it hurts too much to not deserve to be with you, to not be worthy of your love, to not be good enough. It hurts too much. And in that moment, I saw my mum. And I saw that that's what was happening with her. It's an experience we come to have. And unfortunately for us, this not being worthy, this not being good enough is such a huge wall that we put up in front of us, that we don't allow other people in, and that we use it to push them away. It creates both of those things. It doesn't let people in, but it also pushes people away, because it hurts to feel that you don't deserve the people you love. It hurts to not be good enough. And that was the beautiful realization I had on the weekend, last week. It wasn't about what I did or what I didn't do, or, and my friend was saying, well, you did everything you could do. Yes, we are trying to protect ourselves from getting hurt. That's right. It is a protective mechanism. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to do. You know, from the first conversations we had with all the beautiful projects that you had ready to go. I'm so looking forward to supporting you in everything that you wish to follow moving forward. When you're ready, you know, it's always when we're ready. It took me a long time to get started with this second channel. And I almost went back to the first one. You know, I was really, really not sure whether to go back or to start fresh, to start from zero, you know, when you've got a whole channel already built up. But they're two very different places in my life. And I thought there's a reason the first one didn't work out. And even if this one doesn't, I feel like the information will get to the people, you know, that it needs to get to. So, yeah, so it doesn't matter. It's not about the numbers and it's not about the success of the channel. It's about reaching, you know, that spirit reaches the people it needs to reach through this information, through these videos, through the books, through any of it, you know, whatever calls you. So, yeah. What else? It was my husband's birthday yesterday, so we had a lovely celebration for him. And for those of you who don't know, when I went in, you know, I'll tell you the story because it's just us today. So when I was doing Reiki, and I'd been doing Reiki for a while now, and I was, you know, really curious to what my daughter's energy looked like and to what my husband's energy looked like. And so I asked my daughter one day, I said, oh, do you mind, you know, for me to go in and have a look at your energy? Because I'd done so many healings by this stage and I'd seen so many energies that I really wanted to know what their energies look like, you know, just out of curiosity. And so I asked my daughter and she said, yeah, sure, Mum, because she doesn't care about anything. And she knows that whatever I do, I'm not going to harm her or put her in harm's way. She knows 100%, you know, she trusts me. So I was like, cool. So I go in and I did my daughter's, I did Reiki on her to see her energy. And from the beginning, I was just overwhelmed with this blissful energy, you know, just completely like a blanket had been thrown. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'll let him know. It's like a blanket had been thrown over me, you know, and I just felt this complete peace. It was so, so beautiful. And then I look at her energy and it was like nothing I had seen before. It was like crushed diamonds reflecting. And yeah, I get tingles every time I remember because it was so, so beautiful to look at. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before. But because she's young, I guess, and untouched by this world yet, you know, it's kind of in its original state, you know, really, really beautiful. But the one I thought I'd share while it's just us today, it's a small group, and there's no questions so far, so let me know if anything comes up. Originally, in the early days when I was doing Reiki on myself, and I wanted to know how the comments thing worked as well. I was a bit nervous today coming on because I thought, am I going to have this thing on the side and all these people talking all at the same time and I'm not going to be able to keep up with it? But it's actually not that complicated. So next time it'll be easier. It'll be more relaxed and I'll be like, okay, we're doing this. So the first time I went in to see my energy, it was this beautiful golden light energy. It was hard to explain. Crystalline body. I know. Oh, I just got tingles all over again. Crystalline body. I'll have to look that up later because I've only seen one other person with that particular energy. And I didn't mean to look at it, but it just kind of came through. Like when I was looking at my friend and her energy came through and it wasn't something that I intended at the time, but it just did. Beautiful crystalline body. With mine, when I went in originally, after I started seeing the energies in everyone else, I thought, oh, I wonder what mine looks like, you know? So I did this big, you know, this big Reiki, and I sat there for hours doing this meditation that day. I just took that afternoon. And what came up with mine was that it's this golden light. I'm not sure what it means that all the different energies look different. Some look the same. I've had a few that look kind of like this beautiful white light. And I find those quite ethereal. I always get the feeling of I'm in the presence of an angel when I see those. I've had a few of those. But mine was golden. It was different. It's a very light golden color. That's why I'm so attracted to the color gold, you know. And I thought, oh, but I kept doing all these Reiki healings, and no one else was showing up with the same energy. And I thought, am I the only one? Am I all alone here from wherever it is that I've come from? I was starting to feel really lonely. Like, oh no, I'm the only one kind of from my planet that's decided to come here because really what the different energies are, I haven't tapped into yet. I haven't asked them yet what all that means. Why my daughter has this beautiful, crushed diamond like energy and mine's golden. It's completely different. But what was beautiful was the day I asked my husband if I could do Reiki on him. And my husband doesn't believe in any of this stuff. He's an atheist. He doesn't believe in angels, or we've talked about this in previous videos. And he's not interested in any of it either. Unless it's aliens, then he's on board. If I told him an alien's here and I'm talking to aliens, he'd be like, wow, sign me in, I'm in. But when it comes to angels and all this, the spirit world, he's not interested. So that's fine. That's him and that's his experience and that's his journey. But this day I asked him, if I could do Reiki, and he said to me, what is it? What does it do and what do I need to do? He said to me. And I said, well, it's energetic healing. I said to him, but I know that doesn't mean anything when you just say it like that. But I said to him, I can see your energy through it, Anyway, and he said that, will I feel anything? I said, probably not. It's not no. I don't go in to do anything. I just go in to observe. That's basically all I've ever done from the beginning. I thought I was going in to do healing, but I don't. I actually go in to observe. And in the observation is that I can pick up where the blockages are, where stuff is trapped, from childhood, from past lifetimes even, all this stuff. I get to see. I know. I wonder too. I wonder. Maybe use the 50% discount. I'll see what I can. Look, we'll have a chat on the email. All right. But yes, super interesting. And I went in to do his that day, and for so long, I always felt like I was here all alone. And when I kept seeing my golden energy and no one else had the same, I had this more sense of, oh my God, I'm the only one of my kind. I'm the only one here of my kind, of wherever it is that I've come from, that I have this golden energy. And I went in that day to do his. He eventually said yes after I kind of explained it to him and go, oh, look, good idea. Yeah. And then he said to me, and I said to him, all you have to do is lie down. You don't have to do anything. Close your eyes, have a nap, and I'll do the rest. But I just need your permission. I said to him, I can't just do it without your permission. And he said, okay. So that's what we did. I got him to lie down, and I opened the crown. I brought in my team first. They're all sitting there waiting to see what's going to happen because they're there for me. Whether the other person wants them there or not, they come in for me. And then sometimes they'll go to the other person if the other person's calling them, if they want them there. But anyway, I have the whole team around me. I open up his crown, and I'm not sensing anything. I'm not sensing any blockages or anything, but I'm not sensing anything yet. And I get to his third eye and I'm getting tingles and I'm thinking, what's going on? And as I'm working on the third eye and I get to the second stage of what we do in Reiki, because first we bring in the beautiful universal life force energy. And then depending on what we see is whether we bring in, what we bring in. So in terms of, we use different symbols to bring out more information. So in some, we use what's called the Seiheki, and that's to bring up emotional trauma. If we see that there's something trapped there, like from childhood or something, it's like drawing it out, if you like. And so we use that symbol and it kind of draws it out. And if not, if I feel that chakra is it's okay, it's looking good, doesn't look like there's anything trapped or anything there, then I call in there's one where you call in the divine healing light that comes in, and it just fills all the beautiful cells in that area with God essence, if you like. And to me, that's the most beautiful one. I use it almost, it's like, for me, it's like magic dust. I put that on everything. If I can, I use that all the time. I love that one. And I fill it up with God. And when I came in to fill it up with God, was that his beautiful golden energy came out from his body. It came out. And as it came out, his there's this golden being in energetic form standing above him, and it holds out his hand, and out of me comes my golden being, and they join hands. Oh, I swear. That day I spent the afternoon crying. I could not stop crying. And I thought this whole time, the other golden being had been with me the whole time. Next year will be 30 years that we've been together. And I never would have thought, that we would have been the same, from the same energy, the same everything. I knew we had a lot in common, and there's so many things that are the same within us. But that day was confirmation for me that I was with the one, I was meant to be with. I know. I know. I honestly, when his beautiful golden being came out, and put his hand out. And out of me, I see mine coming out like that with her hand out. And they embraced in the middle, and they started twirling. And oh my God, I just couldn't. After that, I couldn't even finish the session. I sealed it up, and I said to my team, "Look, I'm done. I'm good for today. I don't need to see anymore." And things that you don't realize how blessed you are. Until that moment, I hadn't realized how blessed I was, that everything I needed to have in my life was in my life. And the things that weren't there, they weren't there for a reason, you know? So it was just such a beautiful moment for me to know that we were from the same place, or whatever that means, that we both have this golden energy. Whatever that means. I seem to have a feeling for me that we come from the same place, wherever it is out there, outside of Earth. So that was a really beautiful moment. And hopefully for those of you out there that are listening to it now, or that will listen to it later, it'll give you a sense that what is in your life is meant to be in your life. Even if you look at it and you think, oh, it doesn't make sense, or you think it shouldn't be there, that's just the ego playing out its role, of trying to judge that this is bad or this is wrong and it shouldn't be here. But everything is in our life for a reason, everything. And that day just blew me away. It was just such a beautiful, beautiful moment. So I haven't seen yet if the book has left Australia. I'm still waiting for the tracking to let me know. And as soon as I hear that information, I'll send you a message. I'll let you know it's on its way. It's at least on a plane out of Australia and over to the US. I'm really excited that you were the first one to receive one of the physical books. Oh, I shouldn't say first, because I've been sharing them all with my friend Rafail. The reason for that is because if it weren't for Rafail, I probably would have stopped at Easy Mind, Easy Life. Actually, my friend in New Zealand was the one that told me I should write When Love Leaves, because that was all my experiences through Reiki. And what was happening there is a lot of times I'd go in and get all this information, and I'd be like, whoa, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I would send the recording off to the other person that it belonged to. But then, many times I would be like, I don't understand what this means. Why did this come up? Or, and with time, I learned with my beautiful friend in New Zealand that the information that comes up for another person is for that person. It's up to them to interpret what it means to them. They will know what it means. It's not up to me to interpret it, because it's not my path. It's not my experience. But then with my beautiful friend in New Zealand, when I do the healings on myself and stuff comes up, and there's a lot, a lot of times that stuff comes up that I have no idea what this means. And she's incredible. It's like we complement each other. I get the strong visions and she gets the intuitive knowing of what it means. I don't know how, but just listening to what I say. When she sends me back the recording of what she picked up, I'm like, oh, yes, that's what it means. Why couldn't they just tell me that when they gave me the information? Rather than cryptic crossword, and then I'm like, what does this mean? And then she has to interpret it for me. So it's just really funny how it works. But she's amazing. Like the last healing I did, I call it healing. They're just sessions that we go in to see what's happening with our energy. And the last time I went in, they were all dressed in purple. And they don't usually all dress in one particular color. They usually all have their own colors and they do their own thing. But this particular time, they all came in dressed in purple, and I'd never seen that before. Not even, never, not even in a session for someone else. The wound is a place for the light. Ah, I love Rumi. He's one of my favorites. Yeah, I really love Rumi. So yeah, that day I sent off a recorded message to her to ask her, what does this mean? Why are they all in purple? And and she came back with an interpretation. And sometimes, the interpretation will make sense according to what else came in. And sometimes I need to sit with it. It's not quite there yet. So yeah, this is exciting. I don't know if later, when there's a lot of people commenting, how that's going to look, if I'm going to need to be on a laptop or something bigger, but we'll see how we go as it happens, I guess. We'll adapt and evolve. Purple is royalty. Yes, I got the word royalty during the session. But even here in humans, my friend was pointing out that even here, the royalty, when you see kings and queens, the purple color is usually resembles them. It kind of stands for royalty. I hadn't really noticed that before, but they did say the word royalty when they all came in purple. But yeah, towards the end, I didn't know what it meant because I was doing the session for myself. So I'm like, royalty. Okay, I might be meeting the king soon or something. I'm not sure. I like to have fun with it, So because that's life. What's life if we're going to be taking everything so serious all the time, So yeah. So if there aren't any more questions, and there's 3 people, but I don't know if I press there, does it show me who they are or no? No, I don't get anything else. And I don't know what this little thing down here is for. Top chat, live chat. Oh, all messages visible. No, I'll close that. Hang on. I'll leave that. No, go away. Can they go away? Oh, I see. There it is. So I can, because one of the messages came up really quickly and I didn't get up. Oh, hi. There's Kath. Oh, hello. Oh, that's exciting. There we go. There's my dogs now. They're going, whoa, it was exciting. We're going to go bark at something. No, go away. Okay, so there's Kath in there. I just saw. See, that one went past me. I didn't even see that one. Hi, Kath Ott. Oh, lovely to have you here, Kath. Thank you. Kath, do you have any questions? Whoops. Nope, I'll do that. I have your. I know. Yeah, I'm usually really goofy. I try and tone it down a bit for the videos, but in real life, I'm usually really goofy. If you ask any of my family, like, oh my gosh, she's totally crazy. I'm always, making pranks and doing silly things around the house. But I grew up with that. My dad was like that already as well. So, always reminding me that life is fun as well, So, yeah, and hello, if I missed anyone else that said hi. I only just discovered that little thing there, so yeah, I'm hoping as the weeks go, it'll become more natural. It'll be easier to navigate this whole thing. I might do a YouTube. I might check up just at starting. It doesn't seem like I am opening. Oh, opening as in awakening, or is that what you mean, Kath? You'll be surprised, I didn't even know I was having an awakening until I was way into it and onto my second and third awakenings. Because there are different levels. You think it's you think it's just one awakening. Yeah, you think it's just one awakening and then you're done. But it's actually not. It goes on and there are levels. So yeah. But if you are here, it's because your soul is here trying to show you the way. Awakening is just to be self-aware. It's just to be aware that you have a soul. That's where it starts. Because up until that point, up until I began to have the first awakening, that moment that I thought, oh, wait a minute, this wasn't it. I'd been waiting 15 years for my daughter to be born, and she was born, and she wasn't the answer. Like, I wasn't going to be bliss and in love and at peace for the rest of my days. I thought when she was born, that was it for me. I was going to be so in love with this little creature and so at peace and so blissed out with the love I felt for her that my life was going to be a rainbow, you know? And then I found my daughter was born and nothing inside of me changed. The anger towards my mum was still there, you know. All the things that were before she was born were still in my system. It didn't heal any of it. I thought my love for her would heal all of it, would make it all go away. And then that didn't happen. And it was at that point that I thought, wait a minute, I am missing something. I'm missing something really important here. And it was at that time that I decided, I did a self-esteem course with my mother-in-law. We both went in together. And it was supposed to be for children because I wanted her to have, my daughter, to have high self-esteem. And I was going to teach her all these beautiful tools. Yes, there's quite a lot. There's 5 actually in order. They're called Awakening 1, Awakening 2, Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, up to 5. So 5 different things that you can look at to assist in awakening. And yes, there are. Trying to think how far back now, but if you type in awakening, it's in the title. So you'll be able to find, there's 5 of them, I remember. Third eye is not opening. Not sure I need healing, but third eye is not opening. Okay. How do you know if the third eye is open or not? How do you have a feeling it's not open, or is it because you're not sensing your spirit guides or your soul, or what information have you got that your third eye is not open? So I'll keep chatting until I see what's happening. So you can do the 5 steps to awakening that are in the earlier videos, Kath, and try those out. The first one's always going to be for you to focus. I'm not seeing anything. Now, yes, I got it. So what I want to share with you in right here, right now, while I've got you, the third eye isn't just about seeing the spirit guides or... Cool. Okay. All right. So the third eye isn't really about seeing the spirit team or seeing the beings in the other realms. Yes, that can be a part of the third eye being open. But if you do you get at least messages that you hear clearly and you know it's from spirit? Because it can just be, messages that you hear. If you have very strong dreams and messages come to you in dreams, that's another way. But what I wanted to share here is not to dismiss. When I was doing the life transformational coaching course with Rikka, there were many, many advanced beings in that course. Many. Like there's some that are, amazing healers. There's some with just amazing gifts and talents. But even Rikka, that she was the one running the course. Oh my God, I'm getting tingles. Yes. They're already with you. See, it doesn't, just because you don't see them doesn't mean that that you're not already in communication with them. And this is what I wanted to bring through. Even when Rikka used to talk about her beautiful spirit team, she couldn't see them. There were quite a lot of them that can't see them the way I see them. It's not everyone that has this, and I don't know how this unlocked in me or what I did different to everyone else. But I always remember what Rikka was saying, and it's true. It's not about you being... It's not when I see them that matters. It's not that I say Archangel Michael and I see him in front of me right now that matters. It's when he comes in, or when you call in, whatever being you call in, it's that energy that you feel as they are present. And if you can feel them, sometimes I'll be like, at the moment I'm writing the next book. And many times when I'm writing the books and the downloads are coming in and I'm typing, I get this... It's almost like they've grabbed a feather and they're tickling the back of my head and the back of my neck as I'm working. And then I know that this information is magic. The magic that's coming in right now is going to assist so many people, Yeah. So if you get tingles, especially down your spine, especially down the back of your neck, I'm getting them a lot at the moment. So we're talking about spirit guides. The tingles are one way that they communicate with you. That they're present, that they're with you. But what we look for when we want this spirit team with us isn't so much the visual, it's the energy that they bring in. Like that moment when my angels came in to assist in that Reiki healing the first time, and they all came in present, like right in front of me. I was so overwhelmed with the energy of love that they were bringing in that day that I couldn't stop crying. And I found it really hard to get through that healing that morning for that lady because I couldn't compose myself. I just finished, Oh, I know. That's it. That's it. Sometimes you'll just get the name of the person and the feeling, that feeling that, like now, you're talking about Mary Magdalene and to her being present in your field. If you're getting names, it's like one of the beautiful subscribers, Malcolm, was saying, he's got Ariel, Archangel Ariel has come into his field. If you are receiving names, they're already communicating with you that these are the beings that are around you. So start to be aware of what names are popping up. Another way is to just try and call one in, like I was doing in one of the, I don't think that meditation's been posted yet. It's one of the videos that are coming about spirit guides. But we do a little test of calling in Archangel Michael. Okay, and then you call him in, and as you call him in, be present with how you feel in that moment. Just be present. How does it feel? Does the energy feel different once you think of Archangel Michael and you call him in and he's there? Just know within yourself, once you've called him in, that he is there, whether you can see him or not, because you've called him in. You've given him permission to come into your space. So as you call him in, feel the energy around you. How are you feeling now? So you can test out different archangels or different beings. Say Jesus, say Mother Mary, any of the beings that you feel you're drawn to. You'll find there are beings that you're drawn to. It can be Buddha, it can be Krishna. It doesn't need to be, I grew up in the Catholic Church, so they're the ones I'm familiar with. Mother Mary, Jesus, But for other religions, you'll have other beings that you're familiar with, that you grew up with. Call that being in. And know within yourself, always know that when you call a being in and you've given them permission, you're saying, you're open. You don't have fear in the way. You're open. You call them in and you feel into that space. Feel into that space. How does it feel? So that's one way you can test it out as well. And if you're not sure, ask that being to give you a hug. And then see how you feel. So if you still have Archangel Michael here in front of you, ask him for a hug. Let him wrap his beautiful wings around you. Feel the love that is pouring from his heart into your heart. Yes, of course you can. Ask and you shall receive. The magic of the universe. Ask and you shall receive. You just ask. You are the creator of your reality. If you say that these beautiful beings are allowed to come into your space, they are allowed to assist you, they are allowed to guide you, then that's what you create. It's always you. But we have free will. We came here with free will. So if we say they're not allowed into our space, it's funny. One time I was doing a Reiki healing and these dark entities came in. And the first time it was the first time. I wasn't used to them. And they looked really like something out of a horror film, They actually looked like the Dementors from Harry Potter. faceless. Malcolm, you made it! Hello. Okay, so there were these horrible dementors. They looked awful, and they were all surrounding me and standing in the place of where I normally have my beautiful spirit team. And that day I was like, oh, I didn't know what was happening, but I thought, okay, I called in my spirit team, and this is what's showing up. So I thought I'm going to move forward with it. I'm going to trust. Just in your mind, Lucy, it's fine. You don't have to call them out loud. Just in your mind's fine. Yeah. If you just think the person you want to call in, your thought will already call. It's your intention. If you already have the intention of calling them in, it doesn't have to be out loud. I like to do it out loud because I like to feel like I have them in front of me and I'm having a whole conversation like I'm having with you. And I even talk to them out loud when I'm talking to them. Unless, of course, I've got my whole family around and then I have the conversation up here if I have to have it. Because like I said before, my husband doesn't believe in angels. So if I'm walking around talking to Michael, he's going to be, hey, who's Michael? Who are you talking to? So, we'd be having very funny conversations. But, yeah, the day these black beings came in, all dark. And I thought, oh, okay. And it was on this healing for this woman that I'd never done before. She was new. And I thought, okay. So I did it the first time. And the first time I got this image of a funeral. There was something going on, and her mother was at her head, and there was this funeral. There was all this black, a lot of black throughout that whole healing. The second time I went in, and they came in like that again. I said, no, I'm not doing it. I said to them, I don't know what this is, but I'm not comfortable. I said to them, with you guys coming in like that, right? It's freaking me out. That's what I was saying to them. And I said, so I closed the session, I'm done. The third time I came in to do this healing for this woman, they came in the same. Any archangel. You already have Ariel, Malcolm. There's a video coming up for you soon. I'm trying to think. The root chakras tomorrow. And yes, you had asked me a few questions before I started all the chakras. There's 2 more videos coming out soon for spirit guides, and they're answering your questions, but you already have one, and it is Ariel, because you already have a name. You've already got that name in your field. You'll see in the video, it'll make sense. But if you already have a name that keeps appearing for you, that is the one. I mean, there's probably many other archangels, but she's the one that wants to communicate and connect with you first, because she's already given you her name. Okay, so the thing is, when I shooed them away, they went away. So it's always up to you what you want to allow into your space and what you don't want to allow into your space. So you have free will. You're always the one in charge. You're always the one in command, in the driver's seat. They're just the passengers, if you like. Okay, but you're the one driving. This is your life. This is your experience. And so they have to respect that. But that day, and then after that, I've done a lot of healings where all that blackness came in again. And with time, I learned that blackness is fear. It's the person's fear that's coming through. And that's how it manifests in my space. That's how it shows up in my space. But I learned later that it was, for me, it was a test. Those first few healings with all that fear and all that darkness was a test to see if I was strong enough to move forward at the time. And yeah, I just, I said to them that day after that healing, and I was shown that was the reason that was all coming through, was that I would go to hell and back with them, no questions asked. I trust them 100%. They showed me when I was a baby, I was so little, I wouldn't stop crying. One day my mum freaked out. And I think it might be in that book, in When Love Leaves. She freaked out because she couldn't get me to stop crying. I'd spent the whole day crying, and it was a weekend. The doctor was closed. So she put me in my cot and closed the room, closed the door, left me there crying, and went. She just couldn't deal with it anymore. She told me the story. But what I found out after, and this was before that whole thing with all those black, all the dark. Yeah, I've been divinely guided to do the live chat so that people can come and ask questions here if they want and have, and questions answered on the spot, and we can get to talk to each other. I thought it was better than answering comments 2 or 3 days later, or it's nice to have you all here in person. But yeah, what they showed me was that day when my mum closed that room and I was in my cot crying all by myself, that whole room already had these beautiful angels and more angels watching over me, And it was in that moment that I knew I've never been alone. They've always, these beautiful spirit guides, these beautiful angels are with us always. They're always watching over us. If it's not our time, they make sure that we get through that moment, So I remember going through that moment thinking, oh, I came out of that feeling so blessed and so blissed out that, I couldn't believe my mum just locked me up in the room and left me there, baby crying. And, but they were there. They've been there the whole time. These beautiful, beautiful angels, So if you're one of the people like Malcolm and you're getting a name already, Archangel Ariel is already in your field. She already wants to connect. She already wants to be a part of your team. There are probably other beings I'm sensing, but she's the main one that wants to come through first. And if you're not getting a name, what you can do is play around with different names. Play around, feel within your heart, because you'll probably feel that you already have a strong connection towards a being. Feel within yourself, either through whatever religion you grew up with, there might already be a being that you're drawn to. When I was little, well, me neither. Me neither. I can't wait for that day either, Malcolm, when you tell me, guess what? I've had contact. Woohoo! It's going to be so fun. But in the meantime, play. Play with her. Yes, play with Ariel. Ask her for signs. Ask her for a symbol. Ask her for... There's so many things you can ask for. Ask for confirmation that she exists, even if you can't see her. You might be getting whisperings in your ear that might be her. So there's so many ways that they communicate with us all the time, and we don't even realize it, So if you have a name, great. If you've already been given a beautiful name. With Jessie, she's already got huge communication with Mother Mary. Now there's Magdalene. Mary Magdalene's come through. There's all these beings already coming through, making contact, and that's wonderful. But if you don't have a name, if you don't have a being that's already in your field, that's already come through for you, feel within your heart where you have a strong connection. Through your religion, through what you grew up with. There's a being. Perhaps it's a grandmother or a grandfather. We seem to think it has to be a religious being, an angel of some kind, but it doesn't even have to be that. It could be a great-great-great-grandfather way down the line. It's just a being that's not from this realm, that's in the spirit realm, that's there to assist. Yes, nurturing and loving. Oh, for sure. How lovely, though. Yes. But you have beings, you see, you can feel, you can sense into the beings. Now, I'm curious with you, do you see them? Do you hear them? What's your connection with Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene? How are you connecting? How is the communication? That's what I'm interested in. So let me know while I'm discussing what happens when we don't. It's really about connecting to your heart, because your heart space is what's connected to the spirit. They are unconditional love. So connect to that. Okay, all right. Thanks for being here, Malcolm. I should have been here a little bit earlier, but yeah, I had trouble getting back here on time from work. So it was lovely to see you, Malcolm. Thank you for coming. Good night. All right. So, yes, for those of you, if you don't have a name, if you don't have, you have to feel into your heart. And sit with your heart space and see what names come up. Is there a name that comes up at all? Is there anything? Is there a being from the other side that you feel drawn to? You feel attracted to call them in. Good night. So, rods at all. Rods. Are they the no, I'm thinking tuning forks. No. I did do sound healing for a while. I've got lots of crystal singing bowls that are all back there. And I've got what's called the tuning forks. I do have them. And I've got lots of these Tibetan bowls down here. I've done sound healing, but I don't use any aids in terms of calling in the spirit guides. And that is one of the videos coming up very soon. There's one of what tools you can use to assist with spirit guides. If that helps you to focus, if that helps you to bring them in, then use that. I'm not familiar with rods. I'd need to look that up. But I feel for me that we use all these tools to get them to come in as a focus. Like when we use a candle or we use the crystals is the one we talk about in the videos to come. That's coming up soon. For us, they're aids in calling them in. But for me, it kind of worked backwards. For some reason, they just came in. You can ask yes or no questions. Yes. Yes. Yes, that's a good way to go as well. To get a yes or no. Yeah, that's good. So you just work with what you're comfortable with. You know, if you find there's other people use crystals or they use whatever it is that they use, and you go and buy a bunch of crystals and you put them out and it doesn't feel right, then don't do that. You know, or if lighting a candle doesn't feel right. But if lighting a candle makes it work for you and you focus on that candle and that feels like it's the way for you to communicate, to create the space for you, then do what feels right to you, because everyone works differently in how they bring their team in, you know, and what makes it happen. So for me, it was very simple. I don't know how, but I think it was more through the Reiki. When I started doing Reiki, I started to see them even more strongly. And it was through it was through the Reiki that I was getting confirmation time after time after time that the visions I was having were actually real. Because before that, I just thought, you know, it's like when you have a dream at night and you think, oh, it's just a dream. No, they're just visions. It never occurred to me, why am I having these visions? Why am I seeing this at all? You know, and it wasn't until I started doing Reiki that I thought, wait a minute, because the people on the other side would be confirming, telling me things that I hadn't told them about their session. You know, like, for example, the first time I called in Mother Mary for a session, the lady on the other side later sent me a message saying it was so beautiful. She had Mother Mary with her. She could feel her and she could see her in the session with her. And I was like, what? You know, I was like, how did you know? Because up until that day, I had never called in Mother Mary. It was the first time I had ever called her in. I usually had my team, my angels that I worked with, and that was it. But in that healing, she wanted Mother Mary to come in. She had called her in. And then to later receive a message that she knew that Mother Mary was with her, that she'd seen her and she'd sensed her and she had this whole conversation with her. And I was watching the two of them working together and I was like, what? And then the same thing happened. The following week, Jesus decided to come in to this same lady. So she had Mother Mary at the head and Jesus at the feet. And again, I'd never had Jesus come in before, because up until that point, because they were part of the religion I grew up with, I had a strong rejection with Mother Mary and Jesus. Strong rejection for anything that had to do with the Catholic Church. So he decides to come in and he goes at her feet. And later I get a confirmation from her. She had Mother Mary and she had Jesus in the healing. And I'm like, what? How did you know he was there? You know, I'd never had him in before. How could she know this? You know? And here I am having this huge vision of her lying there, Mother Mary at the head, Jesus at the feet. And then the third time, she had the two of them, Mother Mary, Jesus, and Metatron went over because he was with me, but she called him in. So he was in the center, hovering over with this beautiful Merkaba. And later she told me all about that. And I was like, what is happening? Because I just saw all that, you know, in this vision. Oh, wow. Yes. It is a whole new experience when you actually see them. I know. The same thing happened to me. And for some reason, the tears, it's like, whoa, you really get blown away. But to have the vision to me, oh, it's so beautiful because it kind of feels like they're more real. It's hard to explain, when I imagine when I can't see them, it's kind of like feeling like you're blind. You're trying to feel this energy. I guess in a way it's better because it's kind of getting that out of the way. I know. Because what we do want to feel is the energy coming through. But for me, it kind of makes it more real. Like I'm hugging an actual person. Yeah, it's just really, really beautiful. So, oh, I'm thrilled for you. I really am. I can't wait for you to get the book and to see how you go with that. So, do you guys have any more questions for today, or you happy to wrap it up? I was just going to go for half an hour, but look, it's been an hour and we're still here. But it's been so lovely, and I've got to learn how to use all of this because it's been a few weeks. They've been telling me, go on, go live, do it. And I'll be like, all right, I'll do it. But I keep putting it off because I keep thinking there's going to be all these comments and I'm going to freak out. I'm not going to be able to keep up with it all. And yes, we'll manage. We'll make it work, yeah? So think throughout the week if there's anything you want to ask or, any questions, anything else that you're not sure about. And for now, for you, Kath, just think of, sit with yourself. Maybe do the heart chakra meditation, which is for the heart, to open up that section. And I would do the crown because the crown opens up to the divine, direct communication. Those two chakras would be the most important. But especially when you're sitting in your heart chakra, where all the love is, where all your beautiful love is, your heart center, there I would sit and ask, who am I drawn to? Who do I want my spirit guides to be? Does a name pop up then? And if not, in the next few days, choose different beings that you feel an attraction to, you feel drawn to. Pick a name and sit with it and see what the energy feels like around you. Are you getting goosebumps? Yeah? Are you getting goosebumps? Are you getting, what's coming through as you're sitting with that name of that being? And yeah, mainly, we look to feel the energy of the being more than anything else. It's the energy. Same as when we want to be with God. It's the energy. It's not what God looks like. It doesn't matter. So I would sit with you choosing, okay, this being, what does this being feel like to me? And you say to yourself, I'm calling you into my space. Okay, say, I'm going to go with Jesus just as an example. So, within yourself, you just say, okay, Jesus, I want you to be with me right now. I invite you to be with me. I always invite them. I like them, as it's an invitation. I invite you to be with me right now. Please be here. And then sense into how that feels. How does the space feel now that Jesus is here with you? Because know in your heart that when you call in one of these beautiful beings, they are there with you in that moment, straight away. They're with you. You've already called them in. So Jesus is here right now, just as Michael was here before. I keep calling them in. They keep coming and disappearing. Go, what's going on? Well, they know. They know what we're doing. But as you call each one in, you sit with that name and feel into you, feel into your heart. How does your energy feel now that this being is present? And if you feel, you can ask them for a hug. I usually find, I'm a very huggy person. So I usually find, when I ask for a hug, I feel their love even more. I feel their energy even more. And if I want even more, I ask them to wrap their wings around me, like I'm completely encased in them. They're completely holding me right now in this space. And I'm just being drenched in their love. Drenched in their gorgeous unconditional love. So see how you go with that. And then let me know. But yes, there are videos for awakening, all the different tools, different things that you can start doing already. And there are lots and lots of, there's already a whole playlist with 10 videos that I've put aside all together in one space for spirit guides. So if that's the thing that you're after, And then there's a new playlist starting now with all the videos that are coming. Yeah, me too. So if we ever meet, we'll give each other a huge hug. Yes. Thank you for that. I'll do that. Yes, I am the author. So it is in the original videos. The first videos I did for the channel was introducing all the beautiful books and all the things that you could gain from the beautiful books. So they were the first few videos, but yes, maybe have something at the end that says, that's all right. That's what they're there for. But you can learn all about them on the website. And yeah, they're all the beautiful downloads I've received. I was talking to my friend last week and she was saying, what do you mean downloads? And I said, well, when I sit at the computer to write, to type, it just comes like a flood, right? And then it just goes onto the page. As soon as I stop to think of what to write, it stops. You know? Or if I stop to read it to do grammatical corrections, there's a stop. And it's like, oh, my mind got involved. You know, it's like, I got to stop doing that. And then I'll start again. I'm like, all right, I'm ready. It's like dictation. You know, I take dictation, I write it all down. And as soon as I stop to think, that's it. Stop. The flow stops. So, yeah, these beautiful books, I've been blessed with all this gorgeous information. And being told it's time. It's time for others to know that they exist, that the information is there if they need it. So, yes, I will go through that last comment because a few came up quite quickly. Yes, I imagine a download. It does happen. I know, because it just, sometimes in the videos now I have the same. I'll start with the idea of what I want to write about, like a question that someone's given me, and I call in my team. I always have them here. And then as I start talking, I just feel the information coming through and just let it go. Just whatever it is, you know. And then later, like I was saying earlier, I was editing a video that I, just posted from yesterday, and I was like, oh, in tears, because one thing was to give the information and another thing was to listen to it and actually receive it the next day. Do you ask for them? How do you get messages? Do you ask for them? Oh, in your case, I'm thinking, I thought you were asking me how I get them. How do you get messages? Yes, you ask for them. Ask is always the key. So usually the message is because you've asked a question. And for me, what I like to do, because I love playing with them now that I know how they work, the spirit guides and, the whole spirit team and the whole thing. For me, the fun part is asking a question. Like, say, I don't know, whatever question is that you want to ask. Like, who is my spirit guide? I'm trying to think of a question that might be relevant to everybody there. So who is my spirit guide? I want to know. Reveal yourself, right? This may be what you really, really want to know. And then ask. Ask for a symbol. Ask for proof. They love sending you proof, by the way. They love giving proof. And in the most amazing ways. Today someone was sharing a story with me. I was just blown away by how they go out of their way to prove that, yes, this is the way, this is the message, this is the answer to your question. So the first time I got my guardian angel's name, I was like, what? I had to write it down. I could see it in writing in front of me. He even spelt it out for me. And I wrote it down and I thought, wow, this is a really strange name, right? How am I going to remember this? And you won't believe it. Yes, you will. Over the course of the next 4 to 8 weeks, I started to see his name everywhere and I had never seen it before. And I'm sitting there thinking, what? So it was just really funny. And at the time, I didn't know that these beings were real. All these conversations I was having with my guardian angel, that was the first being I started talking to. It was through a course with Lorna Byrne. And she does this gorgeous meditation where you meet your guardian angel and you ask them for their name. That was the whole point. Proof just be confirmation. How can you really know? Ah, like that. If your guardian angel gives you a name, words and symbols in gold. If your guardian angel gives you a name, and it's something that you're not familiar with, it's a real name that's like right out there, like my one, and then weeks from now you start to see it everywhere, for me, that's confirmation that, oh, yes, that was the name. The story, what put it in what made it real for me, the first time I met Archangel Michael, he gave me the symbol of a pentagram. It's that 5-pointed star. And it was supposed to be a symbol for love. And I argued with him for weeks, right? Here I am having this conversation in my head thinking I'm making this all up anyway. And I said to him, but a pentagram doesn't have anything to do with love. Why didn't you just give me a love heart or something that, is a love symbol? I was saying to him, are you sure it's the pentagram you want to give me? And he always said yes. And so after about 3 weeks of arguing with this archangel in my head, right, thinking I'm making all this up, I thought, oh, I'm done, right? This is just silly. I'm having this conversation in my head and I'm even arguing with myself over this, right? So I put it out of my head. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not important and it doesn't, change anything, really. So I went about my days, and about 6 to 8 weeks later, because I can't remember exactly the timeline now, I had to take, my mum was in hospital, my mother-in-law. So I went, picked her up and took her home. She'd had a heart episode thing. Ended up in hospital. At 8 o'clock at night, she calls me up, can you take me home? I said, okay. So I go, I take her home. I come back to my house, and in my backyard were over 12 pentagrams on the concrete floor at the back. I was just taking my dogs out like I do every night so they can go to the bathroom before we go to bed. And I look out onto the concrete and there's over 12 pentagrams on the floor, up on the walls behind me, around on the walls at the side. And I came running inside because I hadn't told anyone of the conversation that I'd had in my head. I know, that's also in my book. And I go running inside and I said to my husband, why are there stars all over the ground outside? And he said, oh, I was just teaching our daughter how to do a star with one stroke is the word. So you start at the point, right at the top, and then you just follow. I can't even do it yet. But the girls at school have been teaching me how to draw this star in one stroke. And it's a 5. It's a pentagram. That's what a pentagram looks like. You start at the top and you don't stop until you get back to the top and you form this beautiful 5-pointed star. And they were all over my backyard. And nobody knew I had this conversation because I thought I had made it up in my head. And when I came back that day and they were everywhere, I was like, what? And that was the first time I started to believe that this archangel was real. But then with Reiki later, they confirmed and reconfirmed and more than confirmed their existence to me. I knew doing all those Reiki healings and all the things I was seeing and people were telling me on the other side that they were real. What they were showing me was real. I wasn't making it up in my head. So, but for me, that moment with the pentagrams in the backyard, and my husband's an atheist, so there's no way I'm going to be telling him, I'm talking to angels, or I keep this to myself. This is my, what is happening to me. But I don't want to influence him in any way of what he believes or what he thinks, or he's got his own path. And so does my daughter. I don't tell her about any of these stories because I want her to make up her own mind. I had to put up with 15 years of going to Catholic church, of being told what to think, what to believe, being shoved all these beliefs down my throat. I don't want her growing up like that. I want her to make up her own mind. I know, me too. I was just, oh my God, I was so blown away when that happened. But this is what I mean. They will go out of their way to do all these beautiful things for you. If we keep believing that they're not real, if we keep believing that it's nonsense, it can't show up because the belief is already dismissing them, that they're not real, that they can't be real. So the belief is already saying, no, I'm not letting you in. For me, I was playing around with it. There was no belief whether they existed or didn't exist. It was like, okay, I'm seeing this and he's given me this symbol. Fine. not to share. Oh, you know what, Kath? I have my clan. I've been so blessed, so blessed, so lucky. Through the Reiki, I found Rafail, and I'm an admin on his Facebook page. But with him, I can share a lot of the Reiki, the what I've seen, what I've witnessed, and the things that have gone on. And bless his heart, for me, he's come back and confirmed. There was a point where I was starting to think that it wasn't, I'd lost, it wasn't real. And I had gone in to do a Reiki healing on this lovely man in America. And at the time when I went in, there was this hooded being at the top of his head. And, you know, it was a feminine presence. She wasn't giving me any information. And I thought, that's fine. She was there to protect him. I could see she was really overprotective of this being, And when I went in to see his beautiful energy, I could see why, because he had that beautiful white energy I was talking about earlier, it's a beautiful angel on earth. And when months later, Rafail offered this same man a healing. And I had never told Rafail of that being that I saw, because that was a private session between us, and he knew this person, like we all knew each other. So I wasn't going to be talking to Rafail about someone I knew and he knew, and I'm giving him stuff, like talking to him about what's going on. But then Rafail did the same. He went in to do Reiki healing on him months later, and he saw the same being at the head. And he asked me, when I had done the Reiki, had I seen her? And I was like, what? Like, she's there? You saw her too? I was like, you saw her too? So I was like really excited that, oh my God, it is real. The things I'm seeing are real. I have to stop doubting, And so he's one person that I share a lot with. My friend in New Zealand, I share a lot with her. She's amazing, the medium in New Zealand. And my mother-in-law, believe it or not, who's a complete atheist. I share a lot with her. I can talk to her about lots of things, and get a lot of different perspectives from her. I like talking to her because she's not spiritual, so to speak. She doesn't believe in the angels and all this. She doesn't want to. She says she's not interested in any of that. She's just interested in life, and that's her path. I love that she's that simple, that she just wants to keep it that simple, but I share a lot with her, and just to get her perspective, different angle. I like seeing things from different angles all the time. So I don't feel that I'm missing out just because I can't go running to my husband every day and say, oh my God, you'll never believe what just happened. Because by the time he gets home in the day, I've already shared it with my friend in New Zealand. I've already shared it with Rafail, and everyone's got all the information. So I feel like it's more meant to be for them anyway, because they're on the same path. They're having the same experiences as me. And so I made it live. Yes. Hello. Oh dear, we've been here a long time now. And so, yes. So it's nice to see you, Frosted. So yeah, that's I don't really feel that I'm missing out on anything, because with her, like I said, with my daughter, I don't want to influence her at all. Yes, you will find them. Well, I'm one of them. If you're seeing Mother Mary, and I'm part of your tribe already. So yes, happy to chat and keep in touch always. So the Facebook group hasn't picked up much yet. It's more here on YouTube at the moment, but maybe later on Facebook it'll pick up, and there'll be more people talking to each other there as well. I think that's the nice thing about Facebook, that people can sort of talk to each other all through there and share all their beautiful stories and that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm mostly here. I'm finding it hard to do like all of it, but I will get there eventually, I hope. And let me know if you guys. Yes, I'm in Australia, in Sydney. Yes. Well, hopefully we're all here now, Frosted. Fluke. There it is, Frosted. I got the Frosted and I couldn't see the other name. Yes, hopefully we're all here. What's the Facebook? It's in the description of all the videos. If you scroll down in the description, I think it's at holliebelle.author. Missouri. Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, so you guys can all sign up to the Facebook page and start having conversations over there if you want, like, with each other. That'll be fun because you're coming from here and you know what, yeah, what we're all doing here. We're all talking about spirit guides, and it'll be fun to share our beautiful stories there, and without judgment. That's what I love about the people that I've been blessed with. My friend in New Zealand, Rafail, all these beautiful beings that I can share. There's no judgment, and sometimes they share stories and their stories are really out there, but um it's what we're experiencing. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, look, I've had so many people be kind to me as well. No, you don't have to thank me for that. No way. That's what we're all here for. We're all here to help each other. There's no, yeah. So yeah, I don't know what happens once I stop the live, where it goes, or if I can upload, or first time. So like I said, be patient. I'll figure it out. Hopefully get better over the weeks, and yeah, we you can ask more questions and share more experiences. So without judgment. Yes. No. You're right. It's not easy. Oh my God, to say these sorts of things. If I went to my husband and started talking to him about all the angels and stuff, he'd be looking at me like, okay, what psych ward do I sign you up for? you know. But I've had so much confirmation, from these beautiful beings that these things are real, that they exist, And for me, there is no doubts. There's no fear. And there is no judgment. That's what I love about, this unconditional space that I step into every time I do Reiki, or whenever I go in to work with these beautiful beings. There is no judgment. It's only unconditional love, It is just so beautiful. And to watch them, these beautiful spirit guides, when I do sessions on others and they go in to assist, to watch their beautiful love, how they love us, how they admire us. It's just the most beautiful thing. It makes my heart swell every time. It's like bigger and bigger. It's just so beautiful. It's just wonderful to be in this space, to be able to be with these beings and to be able to share, to open people up, that they can have these beautiful relationships as well in their lives, this beautiful communication. All we have to do is ask and be open. It's all in the videos. And so, sometimes, I say this in a few videos, when I was working with Rikka's course, Becoming a Life Transformational Coach, I used to listen to her videos over and over, reminding myself of the beautiful love I am, reminding myself that we are unconditional love. Her videos will always remind me of the beautiful love I am inside. And so what happens is sometimes I would start the next course and the next course, but then I would go back to do the self-love course again. And when I did, I'd find it was different the second time because I had already changed. Something was different within me, And sometimes we miss things. We go through a video and we'll listen and we pick up one thing and we take that and we work on that. But when you come back and listen to it again, you'll notice something else. And the problem I have when I'm doing the videos is that I get downloads as I'm doing them, and I'll start off with one topic that ends up with 5 different ideas on that one topic. Sometimes I'll start with a topic and right towards the end, in the last 5 minutes, it'll bring up something about childhood that had to do with that topic. But I didn't start off with that. I started off with a completely different concept, So sometimes it's good to just listen to them again, and you'll pick up something else, and you'll pick up something else, or you'll pick up something you didn't notice the first time because you were looking for something else. So, the videos are free. You can listen to them as many times as you want. It doesn't matter. And the books, if you get a copy of the book, you can read them as many times as you want. Sometimes I find with books, the second, third time around, I pick up on things that I didn't notice before. So all these tools are there for you. Use them. They've been given to you. All right, my darlings. I love you guys. Thank you for your patience today. And yeah, let me know in the weeks to come, if you have a preferred day, a preferred time, as I was saying before, and then I can kind of work out the best day throughout the week and the best time here in Sydney to be able to reach most of you so that you can be here and ask questions, and we can talk to each other. It's nice to have the direct communication while I'm here. All right, my beautiful beings. I love you dearly. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for your patience. Bye for now. Yes, thank you. Let me know, okay? I'm sending you a hug too. Thank you, Kath. Thank you, Frosted Fluke. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Bye, Jessie, if you're still there. And bye, Glenn. Thank you. Bye. Bye.